Good Monday morning. I'm meteorologist Byron Douglas. We're on just a few seconds early. Thanks for tuning in here on this Monday, January 26th. Of course, the winter storm now has cleared. We're left over with the cold weather. I'm going to go ahead and take that full. Right now, we've had some wind chills. The lowest one was up in Mount Carmel at minus 18. If you're tuning in, and if you have some snow totals, please share those with us. I believe I have those queued up, and I'll share with you here in a moment through some cities and towns. But there's a look at our alert day that's going to be in play through Wednesday morning. And we have a minus 7 up in Mount Carmel. That's the actual temperature, and the wind chill's in a range there of minus 10 to minus 20 here early on. So again, thanks for tuning in here on a Monday. We do have the Arctic cold that's going to be with us. The high and low temperatures are going to stay well below freezing as we go through the week. And there's a look at these extreme cold warnings. The camera zipped through there, but they're in effect down in Houston, Texas, of all places. This will go Tuesday until 10, so some raw Arctic quivering cold across our area. And again, I want to grab this full here if you're out there. A couple points I want to make. I didn't get all the snow off my vehicle, so I went on for full disclosure here. I want to be candid. Mitch mentioned on 14 News Sunrise, a gentleman who was using a cruise control up in Chesterton on I-94 in northern Indiana, and he hit a state police cruiser that was out. Everybody was okay, but you guys know this. Cruise control is not going to work during these events. Let's take a look at these snow reports. I just got a report from Tell City, 7.5 inches of snow. Pretty much came in with guidance when we talked last on these streams. The over and under was about 10.5 through about most of the cities and towns. A little less where you had more of a sleet component in Henderson and Owensboro, and then down through Madisonville, Central City, and Greenville. But the airport, 12.5, 10.5 in Poseyville. In some areas there in Winslow, over a foot of snow. Jasper, Huntingburg, Du Bois County, some of those areas. So we'll fill in additional cities and towns. But it pretty much played out, underperformed some areas across western Kentucky where you had a sleet component. And I believe we had that sleet Saturday night into Sunday morning. These totals would have been much higher. It took a little steam out of these snow totals, but I mean 12.5, that came over the 24th and 25th, that's Saturday and Sunday, quite a bit. Record snowfalls for those dates on the books, which I believe we'll cover in a moment. An ice storm warning this morning down in Atlanta, Athens, Georgia. So it covers northern stretches of Georgia. They have dropped the winter storm warning for Cincinnati, and it's in up through the northeast. Arden will have more coming up on 14 News at 11 and noon, but we had 12.5 inches of snow on the ground. That's record snowfall on the ground. 10 inches on the ground in 1978 is knocked out. So we in some record territory, and we just missed a record low this morning. On the hourlies, we got down to 1 above. And let's check the temperatures right now. Evansville's at 1, minus 5 in Mount Carmel. Last hour you guys were at minus 7. So frigid. And minus 21 in Mount Carmel. One time at minus 25, Evansville at minus 14. So brutal wind chills and not much of a recovery, still staying below zero as we go into the afternoon. And tomorrow will be below zero as well, early in the day. The cloud guidance, generally clouds, a lot of times the Arctic air builds in and you'll have sunshine, but we're going to have a couple cloud layers today, so don't be surprised if it's partly sunny, and then from those clouds you'll have a few flurries. So there's some broken skies about 2,000 to 4,000 feet that will yield some spotty snow showers. No additional accumulation, but especially as we go into the afternoon. Here are what we call the 6, 10, even 14-day outlooks are trending below normal. The purple sliding to the east. In fact, this is the pattern up till about the 10th day of February. Drier than average, but the precipitation of choice over that time frame would be snow. And sometimes these clipper systems, they don't squeeze out much moisture. We'll have one potentially a little later in the week, but we're going to be trending drier than average. So bitter cold, 10 above. Minus 2 tonight. By the way, the record is minus 18. The last 2 weeks in 1963 were brutal. So there's some records that on the 1963 that will be on the books for a while. In the wind chills, I move them up to minus 4 to minus 8. Temperatures will come up a little bit before sunup. 28 for a high on Tuesday. Tuesday and Thursday will be the warmest days of the week. A few clouds this afternoon, and this is where we could belt out a few flurries. And the guidance usually doesn't pick up on a lot of this, so I'm just bringing it to your attention. Kind of get these snow microclimates, and then a similar story tomorrow where you'll have a few flurries potentially. No additional accumulation. So I'm going to zip this along. We're in the northwest flow, so this Arctic air is going to be with us through the week. So this takes us into Friday, and I think as we go through the week, there'll be a clipper system at some point. Right now, maybe some snow, lake effect snow up through northern Indiana where you would expect it. And then even on Saturday, we could have a few flurries, but I'm going to take this full pretty quick. So our average high is at 42, so this is like a 7-day see up in Minneapolis, St. Paul. That's just how to, so the snow is going nowhere. And it's going to get cold, so do be careful out there. Sometimes it's the third or fourth day after a snow event that we have all kinds of problems as people pick up the speed each day and gain a little more confidence. There's something to keep in mind as we go through that stretch. So again, thanks for tuning in here bright and early. Mitch is going to be along here in a moment. Let's see if any snow totals. Utica, Kentucky, Owensboro had about 5 to 6. 8 inches in Madisonville. Appreciate that. I want to shout out some reports. Watching from Morganfield. Suzanne, good morning to you. And thanks for all those snow reports. They're invaluable. Mitch is going to have more in a moment.
Stay informed on your local news and weather throughout the day by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows. At 8:30 a.m., get your First Alert forecast to plan the day ahead and catch up on the news that happened overnight with the 14 News Sunrise team. In the afternoon, get the latest headlines, forecasts, and a preview of the stories we're working on with the 14 First Alert streaming show at 2:30. And get an in-depth look at the 14 First Alert forecast so you're ready for the next big thing with the 14 First Alert weather show at 9 p.m. Watch the 14 First Alert streaming show that fits your schedule and works best for you. Streaming on your phone by downloading the 14 News app and the 14 First Alert weather app. On your smart TV by using the 14 News streaming app. And stream anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or on 14news.com. Stay connected and stay informed by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows on your favorite streaming devices.
Hello, good morning, and thanks for joining us here for the news portion of your streaming show. I'm Mitch Carter. You just heard from Byron Douglas there talking about the snow totals out there and how it's still on the roads for you. And with that, law enforcement officials staying busy in Vanderburgh County. They say despite having to help people get moving out there, they've been pleased there with the lack of traffic and have seen no serious accidents. Our Emma Beck actually checked in with some local residents to see how it is they fared.
Here on the west side of Evansville, the roads are still covered in inches of snow. We are not seeing any pavement yet, but this is actually an improvement from this morning when many people were sliding off the roads and even getting stuck. Officials with the Vanderburgh County Sheriff's Department say despite having to help some people get moving today, they've been pleased with the lack of traffic and have seen no serious accidents. Some Evansville residents even ditched their car to take the roads by foot, like Marquin Hancock.
Residential roads like his won't get plowed for days, and he's hoping to see some progress soon.
Hopefully they'll get to it soon, but I know they're busy, and that's okay. Take your time, be safe out there, but I'm ready for you to get it cleaned up. But take your time, though, and it's okay.
Evansville residents and law enforcement officials both agree this is the biggest snowstorm they can remember. Again, secondary streets like the one I'm on now, this is Indiana Street on the west side, could take days or even up to a week to get plowed. So just be patient, and if you have to leave your home, take it slow and steady when you're driving on these roads. Reporting in Evansville, Emma Beck, 14 News.
And moving now to the Commonwealth, while this is not the most snow Owensboro's ever seen, officials do say it is a lot for the area and folks need to be careful. Officials say this kind of snow only happens once every couple of years. And to keep up, they say the snow plows and shovels have been out there in full force. See some there on your screen right now. With that said, officials say they've not seen too many problems out on the road despite the conditions there, and they say most people have listened to the forecast and heeded all those warnings. They also say because the storm rolled in over the weekend, fewer places are open and fewer people were out anyhow.
The timing of this storm has been very helpful because, we prepared throughout late week. And then there's just not that many reasons to be out on the weekends. A lot of businesses have closed, and even church services kind of went on the internet this morning. So not a whole lot of people out, not a lot of reasons to be out.
Well, again, officials saying because of this deep freeze here, all the snow is going to stick around for a while yet, and they say you should go ahead and exercise caution getting out, getting to work this week here. And a little bit lighter news here, because of the winter storm, there's no school or sports, so what else did kids have to do besides go sledding? Now, one of the hot spots to sled here in Evansville is on the west side at Helfrich Hills Golf Course. With all those hills, it is indeed perfect for sledding, and we found a lot of people out there sledding down the 12th fairway. Byron Douglas and I joked this morning, neither of us ever seen the 12th fairway at Helfrich Hills, but it looks like fun. With a good 10 inches or so on the ground, it made for a perfect track despite those brutally cold temps.
You don't get too many days like this, so you got to take advantage of them.
Especially not around Indiana, Evansville. Decided to come out on these hills, perfect for snow sledding, hang out with the buddies.
We created a little ramp down there, get it going.
We got these ones for Christmas, came out here, hitting that ramp down there. These lightweight ones will get you going down that hill.
Nice little hill. We usually have some people out here. I've got a snowboard. Yeah, we came out here, I think one other time, so we were ready to come back. They've been in and out, and they learned you don't put snow on your face, right off the bat, and so they loved it.
And of course, Wrights Hill on the west side, always an excellent place to sled as well. And wrapping things up here, it is not just kids out there having fun in the snow. We asked our viewers, including you all, to send in pictures and videos of snow impacts across the tri-state, and you did not disappoint. Seeming like your four-legged friends are certainly surviving the snowy weekend. We've seen Kentucky farmers hard at work keeping their cattle warm and fed. Meanwhile, over at JB's Barnyard Ice Cream in Mount Vernon, it looks like the cows were having a blast making the most of it. We've seen dogs out there pulling sleds, some of them even dressed for the freezing weather in their sweaters and boots out there. Check him out enjoying that. And some animals like Gilbert the pig pictured there, even seeing snow for the very first time. Of course, we've been talking about this snow impact here and the storm incoming all week long and all weekend leading up to our Monday here. For those who have to get out and get to work, we understand that. Please just take it slow, take it easy out there as you make your way out of your house and hopefully onto the road safely. For right now, though, it is 8:42 here on your Monday morning. It's going to wrap it up for us here on our stream show at 14 News, but we'll be back for more weather and news coming up on 14 News at 11 and 12. Another stream show at 2:30 before our evening shows happen at 4, 5, 6, and 10. Take care.